Toronto's definitely known for like music, maybe more in the arts. As fashion, not as much. There's like not many designers that come out of Toronto. Like it's starting to get recognized as like a fashion and creative hub, but I think our generation is kind of making that first step into helping Toronto be more known as a creative city, innovative city with like all these like young creatives and all that. I'm really like hands-on, and even like I remember at one point I wanted to be like an architect. Like I love the idea of like building something. So I think fashion is the perfect like combination of mixing art and like something beautiful with like the actual construction and building and making things.
You can totally multitask if you're on your phone. If you got like one eyeball, it's perfect. You can keep it on.
Going to school for 4 years, like you're always thinking about what you want to do in the future. So I kind of had that energy of like, okay, now is the time. I'm finally out of school. I can fully start, and it's like my time to do what I want. I don't have to like worry about assignments or worried about. I don't really have to answer to anyone because of the pandemic. I didn't have like a set job. So yeah, I figured that would be the perfect time. I think that time really helped me grow and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. It ties back to my brand philosophy, which is about like art and intention. So just having an intention for everything you do. And I guess it follows through like with every piece I make, there's an intention behind it. Every detail, there's a reason why it's there. There's so many fashion brands out there. And if we just keep oversaturating the industry with more fast fashion, trends are just going to be changing so fast, which they already are. And it's just, they're kind of like the trends don't really matter. People are just following these trends because they're seeing it on influencers or they're seeing it on celebrities, but there's no art behind it. Like if people are just over making all these pieces, they're not being sold, then it goes back to inventory. What's the point? That's just so much waste. Like it's so much better to just make something or make a few or make a lot if you're going to sell a lot, but just be mindful of what you're creating and how much you're creating. I think when you're doing everything sustainable, you kind of slow down the process, you take it back a step, you really see how everything goes from one stage to the next. I do have a team I try and stick with for like photo shoots, like photographer, makeup artist, models are always like relatively the same, but behind the scenes it's just like me and my one intern right now. I really do love collaborating with artists and people in general. I feel like I do have a strong vision, but sometimes when you collaborate with others, especially in different art forms, it births a new idea that makes it even stronger. For my last collection, I collaborated with my friend who's an artist. Her name's Rue. And we do a lot of like small projects together, but this project we created a painting for my collection. So I went to her with the idea and told her like, this is what the story of my collection is. This is the color palette I want to stick to. This is kind of like the mood or feeling I want to convey. And then I trusted her in like art direction, and she's an incredible artist. So she did an oil painting for the collection, and yeah, there's something really empowering about working with other artists that understand your vision. Usually I'll start with like an idea, and then my idea will translate into an art form. So I'll kind of turn to like visual arts. I look at paintings a lot. Music is a big part of my process. Movies, poetry. I'll kind of take a little bit from everything and see how those relate to my central theme or idea. Then I'll create like a mood board, I guess, and sometimes like a playlist too. And I'll kind of have all of the different creative elements like in a room at once. Something about, I guess, like the energy of like bringing everything together that helps me to create a single piece. It's really cool how everything just connects in the arts. Usually when I'm creating a collection, I focus on the story first. And then I'll kind of tie everything in together and go to past designs that I'll just like sketch up and see how maybe I can work that into the collection. But yeah, the start of a new idea is usually just like something I hear on like a podcast or something I'll talk about with my friends, and I'll be like, oh, like that would be cool to tell a story about. It's really important to me that I use material that I guess I resonate with, whether it be like the structure of it. I try to use material that's as sustainable as possible. I use a lot of dead stock material, which is material that other designers have used and aren't using anymore. So instead of it going to waste, I'll take it and use it for my collections. Just kind of, again, back to like creating that fantasy world, creating that story that consumers can relate to and then buy into. And even if you're just buying like a simple pair of pants or a simple t-shirt, you're still following the story of that brand. It's weird because a lot of people don't notice like certain production things, or they don't really know what goes behind it, but I'll be most fulfilled when I know like I created a piece. The sewing was great, the design was amazing, and everything that went into it was really strong. So yeah, I think those small victories are the best for me. There's one pop-up store that I did back in October after the release of my new collection. It was my first time kind of having my clothes in a store, seeing people's reactions, having people try them on, and it was just a really eye-opening experience. And I think that really made me want to continue, because I saw how powerful it can be when there are a lot of creative people in one space and everyone's kind of feeding off each other's energy. And I guess the energy all came from the collection and my clothing, so that was really exciting too. Clothes, or I guess fashion, maybe, just say fashion, does bring people together. It could be like connecting over a shared interest in like designer or artist, or even a piece that you really like. If someone shows up to like a party and they're wearing a really interesting piece, it's going to connect you, it's going to strike a conversation. There's going to be a story where they got the piece, why they bought it, who they got it from. I decided to turn my passion into a business because there really wasn't anything else I could see myself doing. I knew I always wanted to be in fashion, but I couldn't necessarily see myself working for someone long term. I knew I kind of had my own vision and my own way of doing things that I wanted to really give it a try. Like, even if it didn't work out, I wanted to at least try to do it my own way, or try having my own brand and my own voice. And yeah, I do like working for myself. It's hard for me to like work for other people. Not hard, I'm a good employee, but I think I'm just like at my best creatively when I'm working for myself, or when I'm doing anything for my own brand.